Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Dawn here. So this week's task for Facebook for our same stash with the lovely Michelle is to make a little fruit basket using polymer clay. So I've just got all of my used polymer clay bits and pieces. So we're going to make some little bits of fruit in a fruit bowl, and then I have this little keyring piece where we're going to turn it into a charm. So that is the plan. So all I'm going to do is grab a few colours out. So we'll have some green for a green apple, orange for oranges. I think it's, yep, just to double check. Oh, should we do some grapes? What colour? We've got purple, so we could do some purple grapes. What else do I have? Have we got any yellow for a banana? That's not quite, that's sort of a mixed up yellow, so it is no good. Actually, some of this might have dried out, but we can quite easily recondition it. So I think, oh no, we do have some yellow, so I've got some yellow there. What else? We need a little bit of brown for stalks, and then I think the basket, what colour should we do the basket? Ooh, what about this glittery colour? I think so. Right, let me move all of this. We've got this gorgeous peach clay as well, but no. Right, okay, so the first thing that we're going to do, I'm going to leave the bowl till last because we're not quite sure how big we'll need it. And then the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm just going to take some of this yellow clay off. And let's condition it, and let's make a bunch of bananas. Now this has got glitter in it, so I can't really tell you the makes of these. I can tell you the glitter one is a Kids Fimo, so it's already nice and soft, but these are just ones that I've already opened, and I've mixed the clays up and stuff. But you can use any polymer clay that you want. Now polymer clay, you set it in an oven, so you do actually bake it, and you normally bake it on 130 degrees. So what we're going to do, make sure that our mat has got no dust. I'm just going to roll this into segments. Now let's do a bunch of, I think, 5 bananas. So I'm going to use my craft knife for this. So and we don't want big bits because we don't want this fruit bowl to be super big. So I would say that many, so we don't need that. And then all we're going to do is we're just going to roll it, and you want it thin at one end and thin at the other end. So just like that. So there is our first banana, and we're just going to shape it like that. Now what I am going to do though is I am going to take that top bit off like that, because we're going to add a bit of brown onto the top of that for the stalk, and where we join it all together. So we're going to do that to each one. So you're just sort of making it thinner at one end and thinner at the other, and then so it's quite thick in the middle, and then we're just bending that into a banana shape like that. And again, let's cut off just a little bit of one end. Yeah, there we go. And then what I'm going to do is actually pop these together, so just like that. I think the other 2 bananas that are going to sit in the middle, I think we might need to make a little bit smaller. So okay, so let's just do that. I haven't worked my clay for ages, so it's lovely to actually be back doing it. Really is nice. Okay, so there we are. So there's 3. Now I am going to actually cut some off these because we do want this to be a bit smaller, because they're going to sit in that gap. So there we go. If we find that it is too small, then we can quite easily just add a little bit more back in, but There we are. Perfect, actually. So remove that top bit, and then we're just going to bend that ever so slightly, and then that is going to sit in here like this. And then make sure that, actually that's the wrong way around, so it's just going to sit in there like that. And then one more banana, and then there is our bunch of bananas. But we are going to put, we do need to put the end on, so we will do that in a second. So again, I'm just going to get rid of that bit. Okay. Actually, let's move that over ever so slightly, just because I want to sort of be able to squeeze that. There we go. Okay, so that is our little bunch of bananas. So as you can see, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pinch them together ever so slightly, and then using this darker, like this orangey colour, and just a little bit of this brown, will make the stalk bit that sort of, it's always like gone like a dark browny yellowy colour, hasn't it? So yeah, and then it's just adding texture in, and the best way to add texture is actually through a dotting tool, or even a pointy tool. A pointy tool is quite good for this. So I'm just going to roll a ball like that, and then I'm going to squish it and just put, I don't know if you can see, so I'm just putting sort of like a long bit here, yeah, and then on this end bit here, I'm just going to pop that on there. And then what we're going to do is, using our tool, we're going to blend this together. So we're just going to drag that clay down just to blend onto the top of our bananas like that, and the same at the front, so just like that. And then what we want to do is, once that's done, we then just want to take our tool and we're wanting to add in our lines, like our texture. So I'm just putting lines down these ever so gently, just like this, and again just across the top, and it just makes it more realistic. Now if you do get hairs or bits of dust on your piece like I have, which it's going to happen, the best way to get rid of that is using rubbing alcohol. It is amazing. So I always have some to hand. So there is our little bunch of bananas. So there's the first thing for the fruit bowl, so let's pop that up there. Right, the next thing that we want is, let's do an apple. So I'm thinking, actually I want a couple of green apples and I want a couple of red apples. So I've got a bit of green here. Well, I'll be back in a sec once I've got some red apples. So I'm back. Right, I've just grabbed some red clay out. So all I'm doing is I'm putting these in a ball. Oh, so yeah, so we're just putting them into a ball. That has got a bit of, there we go, get that out. And the dogs are about to start. I'll be back in a second. Okay, sorry about that. Right, so what I'm doing is I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do 3 of each of the apples. So we're not making them too big because otherwise they won't fit in our bowl, and we don't want the bowl to be too big. So actually maybe 2 of each might be enough, but we'll make up 3 and then we'll go from there. Now when handling red clay, it is best to wipe your hand in between touching any of the any other clay, because it does stain your hands. It is a nightmare to work with. Same with the black. The black is exactly the same as the red. So yeah, right, okay. Next thing that we're going to do, let's shape these. So we're just going to pop in a little hole at the bottom, and we're just going to, so this is where an apple normally sort of sits. So Red Delicious always have those nice little bumps sort of thing on their apples. And then at the top, I'm going to pop in a hole there, and then we're going to put a stalk in there. And we're going to do this to all of them. If you can hear anything, husband is outside sorting out the hot tub, so it needs emptying. Right, okay. And then let's do the same up here. So I really wish that I could sort of bring in the camera. Let me see if I can. Let's move all of this, because I've tried close-up work and I'm not very good with it. Right, so let's bring it in. So let's see if we can sort of get what we are doing on the camera. So all I'm doing is I'm just, if the camera wants to focus, is I'm putting a little dot there, and then I'm going around it and just popping in some dents, just like that, and just to sort of mimic a Red Delicious apple. And then turn it the other way, and then we're just putting a little hole in there, and that's where our stalk is going to go. So let's do the same with the green as well. So just going to pop and pop some detailing on the bottom. Now this clay is super soft, so this is a clay that I've mixed several different types with, and it's because it's probably over. There we go. So there's our little apple. So just do these to the rest like this. I'm hoping I'm still in shot. I am. It can be quite hard to film close details. Yeah, trust me. Okay, and then turn it over, and there we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get that brown clay, and we're going to just do really thin lines, and then like a thin snake, and that will be our stalk, and we'll just pop that in. Actually, these could be pears. If I roll them just ever so slightly, I'm going to turn these into pears. So we're going to have red apples and we're going to have green pears, because I quite like them as pears. So to turn it into a pear, we're just going to roll like that, and then keep that end bit, because like I say, we do need to have it so that, there we are. Oh, try not to hot. We're just rolling it, making it thinner at that end, just like that, and then just sort of putting it on a slight bend. So there's our pear, and that, let's pop that hole back there and go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, where is our brown? So here is our brown, so let's grab some of that. And what we're going to do is we're just going to condition this, because it has gone a little bit dry, and this is going to be our stalks on our fruit. So once you've conditioned it, so condition it means that you're getting it so that it is nice and soft to work with. If I tried to do something with this now, so if I tried to mold it, as you can see, it's just crumbling and it breaks apart quite easily. Whereas if I try and do it with this now, as you can see, it molds quite a lot better. So it is very important that you do condition your clay. Now, clays that need less conditioning are your Sculpey 3, so that needs very little conditioning, and your Fimo Kids, whereas your normal Fimo, so the Fimo Soft and the Fimo Professional, do need quite a bit of conditioning, so something to be aware of. So all we're doing is we're just going to create a snake, and we want this to be really, really thin, so because our fruit is tiny. So just like this. Okay, I'm trying to make sure I stay on screen. So as you can see, it's super, super tiny. And then what we will do is, let's get rid of that bit. So we're just going to cut a little bit off like that. And then we're just going to, using our knife, pop that in there like that. And then use our blending tool to blend that in so it stays. So there is our first little stalk on one of our apples. So we're going to do that to all of them. So, oh, and then let's pop that in there like that. So that's why we sort of put the hole in, because it helps us know whereabouts we are putting our stalk, and it just helps it stay. Oh, there we go. So there is another apple with a stalk in, and then the last apple. So let's do that, and again let's pop it in. Okay, and like that. So there we have it. So there's our 3 apples, and then let's do the same with our pears. So again, I'm just going to grab this. We've actually lost our little hole. Well, let's pop that back in, and then pop that on there like that, and blend it down. Now it is important to blend it down, because if you don't, when you bake it, it will fall off, because you need to have it so that it there's our little pear, so that it doesn't come attached. The other thing that you can use is you can use liquid clay in which to attach it. That will give it a good bond. And then the other thing, once you've baked it, if you haven't used liquid clay, you can actually coat this with a UV resin, and then that will help it even more. So yeah, okay, right, and one more pear, and then I think our pears are done. And then the only thing left is our oranges, so we'll make some oranges, and then we'll do some grapes. I think that'll be quite cool. Okay, so again, I'm just blending it down. I am just using my blade because it is much easier for me to do. But yeah, so there you have it. There's our little pears. So let me pull out. Oh, wrong way. There we go. So as you can see, we've got our apples, our pears, and our bananas. So I'm just going to pop all of these over there. Okay, next thing to do is our oranges. So I'm going to grab, let's move all of this bits of clay, because we don't want it to get mixed up together. So this orange is Sculpey free. You can actually tell the difference between some clays just by the feel of them. But yeah, Sculpey 3 works perfectly every time. So we are going to make some little satsumas or oranges, whichever one you want to do. So I've just done it in a ball, and then I'm just slightly flattening it. Let me come back in again. Oh. There we go. Hopefully we'll be able to see. So I've did it in a ball, and then I've just slightly flattened it, and then what we're going to do using this is we're just going to dab it all over to give the texture of our orange, and you're only doing it ever so lightly. So as you can see, it's got the texture now of an orange, and we're doing that all the way around. So yeah. And then the last thing to do for our oranges is all the way, just like that. Now I'm just going to put a hole just there, and we're going to get a tiny amount of this black, not black, sorry, this brown. I'm just going to pop that on there like that and squish it in. And then there's the top of our orange. So there's one orange. So let's do three oranges as well. Yeah. Well, these ones are more like satsumas. So again, rolled it in a ball, and then just slightly squished it, and then we're just going to edge it like this. So I'll do these two off camera, and then we'll be back. We'll make our ball, and then we'll do our grapes. Okay, so I am back. Right, okay, now we're going to come on to the ball. Now the ball is just a little bit trickier. So this is a mixture of clays that I'm using here to make this colour. What you want to do, you want to find like some sort of a mould. I'm just sort of looking around me. Oh, actually, I found the perfect thing. So this is just my perfume, but this on top is actually perfect. But I'm going to show you sort of a trick of what you can do, because the best thing to do with the ball is actually to part bake it before you start sticking stuff to it. But you can, like if I put that in the oven, it would melt. What you can do though, oh look, if I make this thick enough, I might not be able to. I might be able to, but if we just put this on there like that, and then bring this down. So actually we don't need that on there, because what I'm going to do is, I'm hoping this isn't actually going to be too big. I've got a feeling it might be. I think we're going to need a smaller piece, but it'll give us the basic shape. So yeah, let's see what happens. Because if you want to, if it needs pre-baking, so if you want it to hold its shape over something, the best thing to do is just blast it with your heat gun for a couple of minutes. That makes it hard enough for you to actually take it off and do what you need to do. So a nice little tip for you there. It won't fully bake, it only bakes the outside, and be careful not to burn the clay as well. But yeah, right, okay. So just, so as you can see, that won't come off there now because it's well and truly stuck on. However, actually we could, if we very slowly but what I'm going to do is let's chop around the edge, because we want it to have a nicer edge. So you can see me in this. Okay, all the way around just like that. So that gives us our edge, and then just make sure it's all nice and smooth. Just like I say, once I put the heat gun onto this, it probably will be difficult, but then I'm wanting to put in, the other thing that you can use to stop it is Vaseline. That works great. I am actually just going to lift it off because I've just realised that we do actually need to have this, we can't pre-bake it because we're wanting to put some wire in so that we can attach it to our, oh, what's the word? Our keychain. And so I am having to take it off, so we'll have to look at other ways of doing this. Right, okay, so yeah, this is going to be need to be made smaller. So As you can see, we have got it. So I'm just going to take my knife and we're just going to take a good portion of the edge off, because we've already more or less got the shape there. There we go. So it's just a matter of, yeah, just making it look really pretty. Oh, there goes my phone. Right, okay. Do I have anything smaller? Surely I must have something smaller that we can use. I do have lots of beads, I suppose, that are smaller. It's just looking around, isn't it, to see what you've got. Right, I'm just going to use my thumb and we're just going to curl it up. Let's just see what we can do. It does make life easier if you do have something that you can use to create your ball and to give it that dome. But if you don't, it's not, you can do it. You just, a lot of patience and perseverance with it. So yeah, so I'm just trying to get my edges so that they all look really nice. Once the edges look really nice, I think we'll start popping our fruit in. And then sort of work from there, I think. This is the first time I've done a fruit bowl. So this was our lovely, oh, I've forgotten the word, our lovely Michelle's idea. Will that work? No, it's still too big. Still too big. Although, what about if we do it that way? I'm just trying to see if I've got something that can just sort of mould this up, because it's the right size now, so it's not too big, but I just need it so that this moulds upwards but doesn't stick to wherever it is that I'm moulding. The other thing that you can use to stop moulding is some cling film. So you could quite easily use cling film on this, which actually would work a treat. I don't actually have any, which is why I don't have it. My husband's actually going shopping today to stock up on our supplies, so yeah, and this is the last day that I had, and I've been meaning to get some all week, but I think because it's something that I don't really use a lot of. So yeah, that's something that you could use there. I'm happy with that. There's our ball. Right, I'm really happy with that. So let's get everything in. So I'm just going to pop these in quite nicely like this. We're going to pop I think I'll put the bananas on top. So yeah, oh, liking that. There we are. We'll pop the bananas in there like that. Let's pop our oranges in, because who doesn't love a nice orange? Just like that. So there we are. So that's what we've got so far. How cute is that? That's so cute. Not bad considering it's my first time. Right, okay. Let's have a look. Right, the last thing they want to add is some grapes. I'm going to add some purple grapes in. So yeah, and they are, actually, let's use this bit of stock that we have left. All I'm going to do is we're just going to make the tiniest of balls, and I mean really, really small, and we're just going to add them on. So this is our base, if it will. There we go. We're just going to go all the way along and add these on and build them up to make our grapes. The other thing you can do is actually just do lots and lots of balls. Right, let me bring you in closer just so you can see how small these balls actually are. So, okay. So I really am taking the smallest amount of clay, so, and maybe a little bit more than that, and then we are rolling it into a ball. So that's the sort of size of balls that we are creating. and then we are just sticking them onto this, and we're just going to build it all up. So I will try my hardest to stay in shot. Now if they start sticking to you and don't move, then you can pop them onto your mat, and they will yeah, they will stay. You can use your dotting tool to sort of pick them up. So that's what I think I'm going to do, is we'll just, oh, come on. So as you can see, they are sticking, and it's just because I've got really warm hands. You can use gloves when doing this, which actually, if you can get away with wearing them, then brilliant, because this can be quite, all of the sort of bits that you work with will leave fingerprints. So, okay. Right. I'm just building all of these up. Some are a bit bigger than others, but yeah. Oh. And I'm just trying to drop them all onto my mat, because like I said, they are sticking to my hands. Okay, right, and then so when we've got quite a few, which we just about have, so I'll show you the next sort of bit. All we do is we're just going to stick these together, like going all the way up the vine, and we don't want it too far up it, because I'm not using the whole thing. We just want it so that we've got a bunch of grapes, really. Oh. And then this piece there. Okay, so as you can see, we've got that shape starting really nicely. It is sticking to my hands, it really is. Okay, so we're just taking each bit and sticking that down, just like this. And then, okay, and making it so that the top bit is wider. So there is our bunch of grapes. As you can see, let's put that last one on. So that's our bunch of grapes. Now I am going to cut this at the stalk just there, because we don't need that. And then bring in our little fruit basket, and I'm just going to pick this up quite nicely. And it doesn't matter that I don't have it all the way around, because we're not going to see that. And then we're just going to lay our grapes down, and just use our tool to help it, just like that. So that is our little fruit bowl. How cool is that? Now the last thing that I'm wanting to do, so I'll leave it there. Do I have any to hand? I'm hoping so. Yes, I do. Okay. So the next thing that we want is we want either an eye pin or a head pin. Now I'm going to be using a head pin because that's all I've got on hand. And a head pin is where you have this flat piece here. So this flat bit is what I'm going to be putting into my clay piece. Now I am actually going to put it on a slight bend. Now the reason why I've put there in a slight bend is because when you put it into your clay, that bend will stop it from coming out. So it's a good way to sort of stop it from yeah, so I'm just going to sort of push it in like that, and then we're going to bend it around, and then once we've done that, we're just then going to come in, and you want to try and be as careful as you can, and we're just going to bring that hole back together. Sometimes it's easier if you just bring in just a little bit of clay. I'm going to really warm it up though. So just like that. And then let's smooth that down. Just using the edge of my tool so that it all blends in quite nicely. So just like that. And then I'm just gonna I'm just going to smooth it off, and there you have it. Now I'll leave that, and then when it comes out we will shape that. But there you have it. That is our little fruit basket. How cute is that? I'm wondering, do I need any more fruit in it? But I am going to paint some decoration onto the fruit bowl, so yeah. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go off camera. This is going to get baked. Once it's cooled down and dried, we'll come back and we'll put some painted detail on it. And then what we'll do is, yeah, we'll add it onto a charm. And there is our finished piece. So I'm just making sure that you can see, because I've just squished them ever so slightly when doing the pin. So do be careful when you're adding that pin in. But I didn't work this clay very much because I didn't want it to sort of fall apart. The good thing as well is if for any reason it didn't look perfect when it come out, you can lightly sand it with some light sandpaper. But yeah, and you can use your rubbing alcohol before it goes in or after it comes out of the oven to get rid of any dust bits and pieces. But yeah, there's my little fruit bowl. How cute is that? Right, okay, I will be back in a second. Right, okay, so I've popped the little fruit bowl into the oven. So what I thought, I've changed my mind from this one. I'm going to use this one instead. So it's just a large lobster clasp, and then it's this star chain. And then I found these, so I'm going to make it quite funky. And then I was thinking these beads. However, I don't think they go very well. So let me have a look, see what else we have. Oh, actually, I think we'll go with these clear glass beads instead, because I think they are so much nicer. So, and we do have a few as well. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab some of these head pins, and we're just going to pop them on here. Like this. Do I have? I do. So these are multi-cut pliers, multi-tap pliers, sorry. So you can cut on them as well. So all I do is I put the head pin in, and then I put my thumb and finger so that it's flush with the bead, and I just cut above there, and I find that's the perfect amount for me to cut. Now I haven't got my round nose pliers to hand, so I am going to use these, but you are best off using round nose pliers, and you're just going to put this into a loop. So as you can see, if you had round nose pliers it would be better. And then there's a hook there. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab one of these stars, pop that in, and then we're going to close that up, and just like that, and we're going to do that all the way down. I also have these, so what we're going to get for them is I do have oh, actually I do have some gold head pins, which would be better, and these have got funky shapes on. So these I got from, I think, yeah, these are from Jewelry Maker, the TV program. I got them many years ago, and they've got little oh, what they're called, little triangles on the bottom. So we'll use these because they are better. So yeah, so again, I'm just going to pop these on. So I think we're just going to have maybe 5 of them. Okay, and then for these ones, I do have some jump rings. I'm just seeing what else I've got in there. Are there stud earrings? Okay, so we just need 3 of them out. Actually, no, we need 4 out because we need 1 for when the fruit bowl comes out. So let's move that a second. Right, and then all we're going to do is we're just going to open these up. So I don't know why I wanted to add these, but yeah, I just like them. So I thought it would be quite fun. So yeah, so I'm going to add a bead in between each one, and then right at the bottom is going to be our fruit bowl. So, and if it doesn't look any good, then this will just be a separate little thing. So yeah, right, I do need another head pin. We also have these ones, and these ones are super thin, and at the bottom we actually have a ball. So what you would do with that one is we're going to wrap it onto here. So again, this is where you could do it with round, on the end of these are my round nose ones, well, the multi ones. So you just wrap it around like that, and then we're just going to wrap around the bead, and that ensures that that will not come off. So just like that, and then I like to use the full thing. Yeah, I just think yeah, I don't know, I just like to use the full thing. Okay, so we're just going to pop all of that around. But you can trim it if you don't want the full bit. So let's just squish that down. Always make sure your ends are squished down and out of sight, because they can catch on clothing, on skin, and it's not very nice. So you always rub your thumb over it, because that will be able to tell you. So yeah, so there we are. So I'm going to pop one more of these on, and then one more bead, and then as soon as our fruit basket comes out of the oven, we will glaze it up, do our little bit of painting, bits of decoration on it, yeah, and hopefully it'll be nicely finished. So we'll paint the bowl to match in with our gorgeous little moon, stars and cloud. So yeah, so as soon, like I say, as soon as it's out of the oven, I will come back to you and we will finish. So yeah, won't be a second. Okay, so I am back. Right, this actually goes really nicely with these. So I'm not actually going to do that much, but I am going to add a bit of shimmer. So I have got my Nouveau Mousse in pure platinum, so we are just going to use a little bit of this. So I do need this little lollipop stick just to grab a little bit on it, and all I'm going to do, because I just want to bring some shine to this, is we're just going to rub it over just like that and make it nice and metallic-y and glittery, because I think why not. Let's do that. So actually this is the first time I've used the Nouveau Mousse on a clay. I know that the Inca Gold works on clay, because I've used it on clay quite a few times, so I am pleased to say that this does as well. So there we are. Loving it, absolutely loving it. Right, okay, I'm going to put some on the back as well, and I'm just rubbing it all in. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to attach this. So I'm not actually going to do that much with it. Let's move that. There we go. So we'll just bend that up already. So that is our little fruit bowl. How cool is that? Okay, so what I'm going to do is we are going to just cut this just like that, and then using my round nose plier, we are going to attach this to here. So let me find, so I did attach everything to it, there we go, and then let's pop that on there. So there you have our fruit basket chain. The last thing that I want to do is, if I know where I popped it, I do have some glaze, but what I think I might use instead, so let me just move all these bits and pieces out of the way, is I think what I'm going to use instead is actually use my UV glaze inside of this. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, so I'm back. Oh, I've got cables and everything everywhere. So I've just got my UV light here. So all I'm going to do is, we do need a paintbrush, which probably would have been a good idea. Now this is UV resin, and it is from Sophie and Toffee, and it is the thin type. So I'm just going to pop some on my brush, and then we are just going to glaze over all of our fruit, and then what we will do is we'll actually cure it, and it'll give it that nice shine. You can use polyurethane varnish, that does the same thing, but this is more durable and it just looks a lot nicer. So so I'm just going all the way around, actually thinking on I should have done it before this, but I wanted to see how it all went together. Okay, so we've done that. Now I'm just going to use this, and it takes just a few about 10 minutes or so for me to cure that. So what I'll do is I'm going to cure it with this light, give it another coat, and then do the back of it, and then we'll come and see what it looks like. Okay, so there you have it. We are all finished. How cute is that? Don't ask me what stars and clouds and moons have got to do with the fruit basket. I really don't know, but yeah, I just wanted to put them on. But that's the thing, isn't it, about creating? We can do whatever we want. So yeah, it does need to stay out in the sun. It is dry and it is fine, but it's still a little bit tacky. So I do need to sort of put it outside. You get a better finish, but yeah, but that's it. So that is my little fruit bowl. How cute is that? So do go over and check out our lovely Michelle's, and if you would like me to email you the picture, let me know. I know that I was a bit late this week of emailing her photos, and I am so sorry. Yeah, it's just been one of those weeks. I've been mental, but how cute is that? But yeah, that is our little fruit bowl we have created using polymer clay. So like I said, we both used polymer clay this week. This was Michelle's idea, which I'm loving all of her ideas. So how cute is that? It is so cute. It makes me want to go and get a banana. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Please do hit that subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Also do go and check out lovely Michelle out and have a look at her little creation as well. I hope you've enjoyed this video and it's inspired you. I hope actually it's inspired you to try something just a little bit different. And let me know in the comment section below. You can either leave me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Either way, it does not bother me at all. Yeah, it just lets me know whether or not yeah, you enjoyed the video. So obviously the more thumbs down I get, the more I know that you don't enjoy it. I'd rather you didn't leave thumbs down, but you know, how cute is that? So thank you for staying with me. Please, like I said, please do go over and check out our lovely Michelle's Instagram post, and also come over to the Facebook group and check out our makes there. We have so many lovely talented people on the group. We do have male and female, which is awesome. So yeah, loving it, absolutely loving it. Seeing all your designs is just a fab, and then seeing what you create as well. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy crafting. Bye.